So today I have come to talk to you about this. The Doctor Who collection set, season 22, all on Blu-ray. Now, you may remember I made a video earlier on the year about the DVD collection. In that video, I wasn't too kind towards the Blu-ray box sets.
Unlike the new Blu-ray box sets, just a bit boring, isn't it, really?
Rather than being dismissive of this line, so I thought, why not dive in and get an accurate representation and therefore accurate opinion of one of the actual sets. Now, season 22 is actually my favourite season out of the entirety of Doctor Who. So that is the main reason why I got this one. So today I want to give my thoughts of these sets now I've got one, and what they're like compared to the DVD and other releases. Because that's what I was on the fence about. Would they be the same as the DVD releases? Would I just be buying the same as what I've already got? The first and probably most obvious difference compared to the DVD releases is the enhanced picture and audio qualities. Now, all 6 stories have been enhanced to improve the picture quality. This is more obvious in certain stories than others, but the thing that looks the best, probably the shots that look the best, are the model shots. Some of the model shots have been redone and replaced with CGI, like in Time Mash. We'll come to that later. The best looking story for me from this upscaling treatment is Vengeance on Varos. The way that story's all lit and all studio bound anyway, obviously, very good story. But the colours really pop, especially like the Doctor, Perry, Sean Connery's son, Jason Connery, the other people, whoever they are, all running around in the dome, the punishment dome. The colours really pop, really sort of clear when you watch it on a bigger. And if you've got a 4K telly, watching it on 4K telly as well, it's unreal. Surprisingly, all of the location stuff looked still quite grainy to me. It didn't actually look much different to the DVD releases, which I was quite surprised about, because I thought shot on film, they generally look a lot more crisp than the studio recorded stuff anyway, or on the DVD releases. So I thought this upscaling treatment would make all the stuff shot on film, all the location stuff, look absolutely amazing. But I was actually quite surprised with how grainy it still looked. Now, I don't think the picture quality's got worse since the DVD release. I think it's about the same. But I think from this, it's more like the studio quality footage has been enhanced to now match the film quality footage. Obviously, they still look the same because they weren't shot on the same cameras. Now, all of the qualities of the studio and film location footage are now arguably the same. So, fair play. The main audio feature I want to talk about is the new 5.1 surround sound feature. Now, 3 stories have this: Attack of the Cybermen, Vengeance on Varos, and Revelation of the Daleks. I am slightly disappointed that not all stories have this feature. And that's only because I was really blown away with how crisp everything sounded. Now, I think, obviously, knowing that this box set was coming out and obviously advertising, yes, it's got the 5.1 surround sound feature, I didn't really pay too much attention to what it was going to sound like. It just didn't cross my mind, really. So then, first sticking it in, I stuck in Attack of the Cybermen first, because I don't know why you'd want to watch it out of order if you're going to watch the whole thing. But let's not get into that, because if you don't, then you don't. But sticking in Attack of the Cybermen, it made me aware that all the times I've watched it, I hadn't picked up on some of the dialogue, some parts of the story. And then hearing it from the title sequence to the dialogue to all the diegetic, non-diegetic sounds, all the sound effects, everything was just so crisp. It really made me admire the script and the writing and how intelligent and quick some of the lines are. I mean, they often are in Doctor Who, but just hearing them so clearly was... Oh, it was really, really lovely to hear. It was really, really great. I was really impressed, as you can probably tell. I was really impressed, and that's why I'm really disappointed that not all of the stories had this feature. Now, admittedly, I haven't gone back and watched them only with the musical score or the audio commentaries, but I was disappointed when I went on there and there was only the original sound from the story, which is fine, but I would have liked all of the releases to have the 5.1 surround sound. There was points whilst watching certain scenes and certain episodes, and it did feel like I was watching the DVD releases, which is a bit of a shame, but at the same time, it's not all going to be so much better. It's still, at the end of the day, the same stories that you watch. And I want to get that point across. I want to make it very clear. There are some episodes that have been treated more than others. You know, the audio, the visual quality, the special effects. We'll get to all the bonuses later, and then I'll do right at the end why, pros and cons sort of thing. But just so you're aware, if you're on the fence and you haven't got any of these box sets yet, there are times where you could just stick in the DVD release and you'd be watching the same as if you're watching one of the episodes of one of these Blu-ray box sets, if that makes any sense. Two stories have new visual effects. However, one of them is the same as its DVD release. I'm talking about Revelation of the Daleks. The other, however, is brand new to this set, which is Time Lash. Now, say what you will about Time Lash, I don't mind Time Lash. I actually think it's really fun. Is it good? No. But I have a good time watching it. And that was no different this time. Actually, I think with the new visual effects, I enjoyed it even more. New CGI effects are a massive improvement compared to what was originally there back when it was done in 1985. I know sometimes when I'm watching stories and I have the new visual effects on, sometimes the new CGI replacements can feel slightly disconnected and not match what was either originally there or for the rest of the story. It just doesn't match the tone, and I feel like it's completely separate. However, these new visual effects here, they're subtle enough to fit in, but they improve the whole story massively. I think one of the reasons why people don't like Time Lash, the story and the characters are a little bit annoying and ropey. But I think it's the visual effects that gets it most of its bad rap. So with this new way of watching, these new effects, it does just improve the story. It just makes it a lot more fun to watch. Like the Time Lash actually now looks like a time lash, a time corridor, and not like something that was stolen from a children's nativity play at Christmas. All the laser effects have been redone and everything as well. That all looks great. I've always loved the soundtrack for that story. It's a good one. It's a good one now. Go and watch it now. It's a good one. So there are some extended parts and entire stories on this box set. Vengeance on Varos, the entire thing, all 2 parts have extended footage. So basically that's bringing in all of the unused footage from the studio recording. So all the deleted scenes have been added into the story, making it longer. Obviously, these stories for this season are 45 minutes. The format was changed, so these are long stories anyway. And then there's part 1 and... No, it's part 1, isn't it? Part 1 of the 2 Doctors and then part 1 of Revelation of the Daleks. Now, some of the shots that are extras, especially in Vengeance on Varos, aren't quite up to the same picture quality as the upscaled, brand new, improved looking quality that we have for this box set. I think there's even some of the shots we have, you can sort of see where the time code used to be. There's like a little sort of... The shape of the time code is still there. Not that bothers me, but it actually, it was quite charming, I think, to sort of go from what you see to then go, oh, that's a deleted scene. And I did go back and I did watch the whole of Vengeance on Varos with the extended edition on. So obviously, as I said, it makes it longer than 45 minutes an episode. Maybe about an hour an episode, maybe slightly less than an hour, but longer than 45 minutes anyway. But I now really, really love the story more than I did in the first place. I mean, I think everyone can agree Vengeance on Varos is a very good story. Definitely one of Colin's best. And now seeing an extended edition does improve it. I think everyone likes Vengeance on Varos because it's such a rich world. There's just so much you can do with the world building that Philip Martin has done around Varos. So just seeing little extra bits of it. And the scenes aren't like anything too important. So obviously you can still go and watch the original version and probably enjoy it. Get the same out of it as watching the extra versions. But it's just nice to see sort of like little extra scenes, little extra bits between the Doctor and Perry and the TARDIS, and then obviously more in the punishment domes between like each character. So that's very enjoyable. Now, again, it's such a shame that we only have Varos as a whole story that has the new extended edition added on. I mean, we get the extended edition for part 1 of the 2 Doctors and Revelation of the Daleks, as I said. But then it sort of makes you think, why have you gone back and done 1 episode? But then you watch part 2 and it's the normal version, which is fine. But I would have liked to have seen, if you've struggled to... Well, it's not even struggling. You know, if you've done that for 1 release, you've done the whole thing and it's great, and then you've gone through the trouble of getting extra bits for was not even half of the 2 Doctors as a 3-parter, for a third of one story and half of a second. I'm sure the BBC somewhere has footage or deleted scenes, or someone does, well, probably works for the BBC, that has all the extended scenes, all deleted scenes from the stories from the 80s, probably. So that's one thing that I was a little bit disappointed about. As well as including the making of little documentaries included in the DVD releases for each story, this box set has a variety of brand new special features and bonus materials, stuff like that. One documentary that is new is one for the 2 Doctors. It's in the same style as the older ones, probably because it was done by similar people. I think Chris Chapman, he was in charge of some of the documentaries done on this box set, so he probably done it in the same vein as the others, I reckon. So the new documentary for 2 Doctors, in the same vein, very enjoyable. There's a few more bonus behind the scenes features which are always great to watch. A little sort of series, if you will, called Behind the Sofa, where various actors from Doctor Who's past comes on and watches, in this case, all the stories from season 22. Entirely ripped off from Gogglebox, but generally a good idea. A little location featurette called Location. That was really nice to see. It's always really heartwarming to see just how close Colin Baker and Nicola Bryant are. That was lovely. The Matthew Sweet in Conversation 3-parter I found probably the most interesting. Colin Baker was the first one. Then you had Michael Grade, controller of the BBC at the time, who cancelled Doctor Who in 1985, put it on hiatus. And then Nicola Bryant was the third one. Now, hearing Colin Baker's sort of live through acting, it's quite interesting. And then hearing his time in Doctor Who is really I just found this whole thing really insightful, especially how Colin Baker and Nicola Bryant were treated at the time on the show. Obviously, Nicola Bryant was treated very unfairly. She still had a good time on the show, but that was very interesting to dive into. I didn't actually realise about Colin Baker's son, his son sadly dying, passing away literally weeks before he started filming Doctor Who. So finding sort of stuff out about the actors themselves around, obviously, the show that we love was brilliant. And Michael Grade, him actually coming on and trying to understand his motives for why he did what he did, what acting Doctor Who. Obviously, we give him a lot of stick for acting Doctor Who at the time, but by understanding that, and I don't understand it fully, but in the interview he couldn't really remember. He thought he acted Doctor Who in 1986, but obviously he didn't. But anyway, it's just interesting to try and discover what he was thinking, why he done what he did. But I think all of those new featurettes are brilliant. It's hours of new bonus materials there, and I haven't watched all of it, so I'm very interested to go back and finish watching all the sort of behind the scenes stuff, especially on set. So as I've said before, I do really, really love this season. Are there stronger stories out there that make up a season? Yeah, definitely. But I think it's just the personality of these stories and the year of 1985 in Doctor Who's history that just really makes me attached to these stories. And it's always a really fun time watching these. And Colin Baker, excellent. Love Colin, love Nicola. You just can't go wrong. I just love watching these stories. I never get tired. That's the thing. I never get tired of watching any of these stories from this season. Saying that, there are a lot of comparisons with the DVD releases, but also some very nice differences. Some quite minor, and some quite large. If you're on the fence about buying these, because this is basically what this video is for, if you've got a favourite season, go out and buy your favourite season, because like me, I was very dismissive of this line and I hadn't experienced them, so I didn't know what I was talking about. So I could not give an educated response why I wasn't going to go out and get them, basically. So then when season 22 was announced, I was like, I don't mind. I don't mind owning two versions of these stories. If it is going to be similar, I would much rather have this season as a double rather than, I don't know, season 20. Like, nothing wrong with season 20. It's just a little bit bland for me. If you like season 20 and that's your favourite season, wait for that to come out. Buy season 20. These boxes are made with such love and respect not only for the era that they was in, but just for Doctor Who in general. You're always going to find bonus materials on these that you hadn't seen before. And as I said before, the artwork, Lee Binding does all the artwork for these box sets. They are very nice. Obviously, that's not an excuse to go and buy them alone. I mean, if that's the reason why I have gone and bought them, then fair enough. There is a market out there for these, of course, because going out and collecting individual DVDs, not everyone owns all the stories. But if you do own all the stories, go out and buy your favourite season, because you might be pleasantly surprised. I'm not going to tell you if you're going to like it or not. The only thing I can say is go out, get your favourite season, and try it. If it's not for you, okay, just stick with that one. At least you've got copies of your favourite. In case you know, house fire. Hopefully there won't be any house fires. So that's what I think. That was quite rambly. So I really like it. I'm probably not gonna pick up every single one, but I am very glad I picked this one up, because I do absolutely love it, and I will be watching this. This will be the new version of the DVDs, especially Time Lash. That's my take now. So if you do go back and watch the DVD video, or you haven't seen the DVD video, please go and watch it, because I really enjoyed making that. Admittedly, not as much as I've enjoyed making this one, because I have really felt passionately about this box set, and I'm very glad I got it. I'm saying the same things over and over again, but I'm just going to keep drilling it into your head. Go and buy your favourite one and see what you think. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.
So you've just seen another one of my videos. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to keep watching and subscribe. Leave a comment as well to Louis Marcus's YouTube channel. That's me, by the way, in case you were wondering.